Everyone please stand for a moment of silence, a moment of reflection. We will salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to compliance with the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 2nd, 2015, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. May I have a motion to open the public comment portion of the meeting with a three-minute time limit for each speaker, one-term round?
Move it. Second. Okay, whatever.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Councilmember Werner?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes. If you'd like to be heard, please just get in line, come to the microphone, give us your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gail Helfrich, and I live on 7th Avenue here in Asbury Park. I would just like to understand a procedural process and how this will be handled in the future. So each week, the members of council provide a list of questions, and they provide them to the city manager, and whoever that is that's sitting at that desk writes those down. I guess I'm wondering about accountability about that list, and who will prioritize that list? Who will be setting deadlines for that list? Because what I'm afraid of is that there are very valid comments that are coming up through the public, but saying that it is in a hurry or not in a hurry, or it doesn't need to be done right away or not, doesn't really provide parameters for people within the city to decide what needs to be done and when, and what the wishes of the council are. So I personally just don't know the procedure. Is it the city manager that makes those decisions? Is the council directing the city manager? So I'd just like to understand a little bit better how that information is going to be taken and acted upon, accountable for, and things like that.
Policy decisions, all right, anything dealing with policy, all right, clearly the council is going to make, all right, the major decisions around those. The daily operation of the city, all right, would come under the purview of the city manager. All right, in response to the question that you're asking about as far as prioritizing, all right, while I'm here, what I'm going to do is, all right, on Thursdays, we will have staff meetings. All right, whatever the content of this meeting is, all right, from, all right, the council, all right, the city attorney's comments, the general public's, all right, comments, they'll go back to, all right, the department heads in that Monday morning meeting. All right, whatever comes under those particular departments, all right, those individuals will have the responsibilities to following up on those and to provide me with, all right, information, all right, by the following week.
Okay.
All right, that would give us, all right, a week to discuss them, all right, and then, all right, additional follow-up, all right, for that next council meeting.
Okay, so for those in the public here, that list and that input that you get from the department heads and all, will that be part of the new process on the working session so that we understand that things are being acted upon? Because I guess what I get concerned about is we might not hear about it. Things take time, and I get that. And you're not going to do everything in a week, but at least if people and the citizens understand that things are moving along, it might help us, and then you get less questions and things like that, and then we know things are being acted upon versus not knowing anything. And the normal tendency is for people to think that nothing's been done, and in fact, it's been brought to the departments, they've spoken about them, and they're acting on them and prioritizing them.
Yeah, we will have that follow-up back to the city council.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Let me just say, great question, and as we said Monday night, this is a new process, so we're looking for input and we're looking for suggestions, and I totally agree with you. And I think what we can even do, and I'll let Tony decide, like at the beginning of the next work session, that could be on the top of the agenda as a follow-up of like 2 weeks ago Wednesday's meeting. Mr. Kendall asked, Councilman Kendall asked this, here's the question. John Moore asked this. We don't have an answer yet, but we're still looking into it, and they can be addressed right at the top of the first work session following. And that way, you know, we know they haven't been forgotten about. So, good idea, thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, Steve Weeder, I live at 1201 Springwood Ave. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the new councils. First time I saw you up there, and I'm glad you got in. We need some new blood up there. Secondly, I left a sheet for all the council people it's a printout from Averka's site on the internet. And I wanted to make a request, which I made 10 years ago and about 3 other times since then, that the city get the Center for Urban Policy Research to do an urban study on Asbury Park, where they would do an in-depth study to see what Asbury really needs. Now, they're working with places like Atlantic City right now for their new growth direction, and also Jersey City as far as alternative financing for them, because they're having financing problems, and a lot of other cities, even outside of New Jersey. We really need it, I think, because up to now, there's been a lot of good work on the boardwalk and the downtown, and even Main Street's starting to shape up, and a little bit on the southwest side, but the poor people and the minorities are still not getting much out of it. They can't even afford to go down and buy stuff and participate in events in the downtown because everything's too expensive for them. So they need affordable housing and maybe rent control and jobs, which I'm working. They're having phenomenal results because it reduces the electricity usage by 90% over the old-fashioned kind of bulbs, including you know, the original ones and the types, you know, regular street lamps. So it would be a good idea to think about that, and you could probably get some grant money too from the state to help out with that. I know the ones on Springwood Ave, the new ones are LED lamps that they're there now, but you need a lot more. It would save a lot of electricity, and you get probably it would pay back and pay off within 2 to 3 years because it saves so much at a time.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How y'all doing? My name is Wanda Lynn Modas. I live at 1300 Asbury Avenue, Asbury Park, the worstest district in Asbury. It's sad. My life is threatened every day, okay? But you know, I deal with it because, see, I'm from the hood too. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, and we know how to deal with hood people. However, it's a shame that when I came here at 14 years old with my mother, and it was beautiful in Asbury Park. Oh my God, then the riots came. What happened to us as a city? You guys get on ball, okay? This child, you know, he looks like a hood rat, whatever, okay? He just, I went to his funeral. He just turned 20, and it's a shame. We should not be doing this, okay? All Neptune Asbury High School children work, where I work at, Neptune, I'm in Neptune where the money at, okay? With me, they was at this house, it was over 200 people there. I didn't see neither one of you guys there, and I'm sad for that.
There
Now,
was 2 people there, 2 council.
okay, I understand. I ain't gonna argue with you right now. But listen to what I'm saying. It's my floor right now. All right? We need to button up, okay? You guys need to do your job. I'm doing mine. And where I live over there, I'm every day. But it's okay. Officers is on the move, so am I. I see that look. Okay, I ain't gonna go with it. But you know what? It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. 3 people, funerals, back to back, I went to. And I'm upset about it. I'm really upset about it. And I'm upset about the school situation with the babies. Y'all need to give these children, these teenagers that want to be rappers, that's dying, something to do. Open up the Boys Club. Open up the West Side Community Center. Broaden your horizons as a, okay? You know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna try and get ignorant, but I'm just letting y'all know. These children are crying out for a job. they can't get jobs. They go to jail, they lost because it's the 2C law. Stop it. Change it. Make a change. Now. That's all I'm going to say on the matter because I'm too upset.
Thank you.
And I just like to respond, and I have to say,
Respond to me on that. I want to hear this.
yeah, so I would just like to say that I actually flubbed my comments. I had some things I wanted to say and that I missed when I was doing the committees. So I want to express my sadness at the loss of Prize Johnson, who I didn't know personally, but by all accounts was an outstanding young man, and express my condolences to his family and friends, and acknowledge and honor his loss to our community. It's a tragedy for our community, and no one wants anything like this ever to happen. And I think there's a couple of ways to approach it. One thing that I've done in the last week is just try to reach out to some community members to think about how we respond as a community when we have a tragedy. So the kids go to school. Do they feel safe going to school? When they go to school, is there a team like the Traumatic Loss Coalition who are trained to deal with losses? Do we have a unified approach between our city and our police and our schools and our community? I mean, we don't want to have this happen again, but I think we should, as adults, handle it in a mature and responsible way that acknowledges the loss and deals with that loss. And then on the proactive side, I agree with everything you said. We need to work on opportunities for our youth. We need to address the people who are in really tough situations. We need to have workforce training, which is, somebody raised that later because that's my other comments. And these are all things that we need to work on as a city, and everyone up here is committed to working on those. So
That's
absolutely.
great. But listen, within the school, just 2 days ago, I was at school.
I'm
Excuse me.
sorry, ma'am. Your
Well,
3
I was
minutes-
at work.
Your 3
We
minutes
had
is
to
up.
shut down. We had to shut down because an intruder came into the school. We had a lockdown. We had to stay locked in the school. How am I to know I'm safe at any school, Asbury or Neptune? How can you assure me?
Ma'am, okay, thank you. You've been well noted, and we have to go on to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Do your job. I gotta go.
Next, please.
Pam Lamberton, 6th Avenue. Glad you're working on the committees. I know it's not easy to fill those. In fact, I would add to the council people's remarks, if you all have filled out an application for a committee or a board, and maybe you better fill it out again, just so that we know that these people have got it. I would also like to ask your consideration concerning the Special Events Committee. I would like to see some city residents on that committee, not just city employees. We've got some city residents with experience that would be beneficial on that committee. So if you would consider opening that one up to city residents, I think you'd get some good applicants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Next, please.
Good evening, Dan Harris, 17 Ridge Avenue, Asbury Park. Congratulations to the new council, and Happy New Year to the new council, okay? Just want to announce that our church, National Action Network, Charity Kings, and myself, and a group of people from Neptune are sponsoring the Martin Luther King March this Saturday, the 17th, which will depart from our church over at 124 Atkins Avenue, proceed down Springwood Avenue, cross over Main, come down Main to Cookman, down Bangs, and then back to our church. I'd like to thank your Special Events Committee for working so closely with us, especially Alicia Floyd, who was almost like helped me hand in hand with this event. And I also would like to take the time to invite the entire city council, Tony, you too, and your attorney, to come participate in this activity. Once we do return to the church, we are going to have speakers, and we're going to do a Q&A. In reference to the speakers, I get so tired of being talked to. When you come there as a speaker, I'm gonna limit you to like 3 minutes, but after it's over, instead of talking to the people, I would deeply appreciate it if you sit down and talk with the people, because then at that point, we can find some common ground towards solving problems and bringing the city closer together. Okay, and I do hope you approve it tonight, because I've stunk enough money into this thing. But, you know, I just invite everybody, anybody in the room, feel free to come. We're honoring Martin Luther King. We're honoring the things that he stood for. And I don't think Asbury's had a Martin Luther King parade in a long time. And that's why we chose to do it. It is a national holiday. A lot of schools don't respect it as that. They still go to school on that day. But please be quiet. We still honor that day, and we would ask you that you come and show support for, not just for our community on the southwest quadrant, but for the entire city of Asbury Park. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Fred, not to go back to the no, you're good, Danny. I have clarification about, so not violating the sunshine law on here. So it would probably be fine for us to possibly go to the march, but participating in a Q&A more than two of us would potentially violate the sunshine law. Am I safe in saying that?
If you're dealing with city business, yes.
Okay.
So the march is fine.
Thank you.
Jim Henry, 514 6th Avenue. A few months ago, I pointed out the fact that the sign in Sunset Park is not operating. A few years ago, the city spent a lot of money to get that sign up and operating, and it did provide a service that noticed various meetings and events going on, and I just wonder what's happening with the sign. Is it going to be operational again, or is it for lack of repair, or is it lack of program? Can anybody give me any information?
I vaguely, go ahead.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, Tony, I know some too, but whatever Tony knows, go ahead.
The sign is currently under repair. Verizon was out there yesterday and today, trying to locate a short that's underground. There's full intentions of having that board operational again. So it's not lack of programming. It is a mechanical problem that we're trying to get resolved as quickly as possible.
So
I know it's been out for quite a while, and Tom is working on that.
So kind of following up on what Gail said, if Tom could give the council an ETA on when, a deadline on exactly when the sign is going to be up and moving, that would be helpful. That would be helpful.
If that is a Verizon product, it's too bad they're not as prompt with the repairs as they are with sending out their bills.
Thank you. To the best of my knowledge, and Tony's right, and I think I'm add a little bit more. Verizon was out there, supposedly it's not Verizon's problem. Now we have a company, Daktronics, and they were out there, they were supposed to be there yesterday, they were out there today. We'll get an update tomorrow from Tom, what Daktronics found. And it's been out way too long. It's been out since before Christmas, and we couldn't say season's greetings, we couldn't say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Get your dog's license.
Get your dog license, we couldn't say anything. We couldn't say, come to the swearing in. We couldn't say anything. So it's been way too long. So, that should be solved. Thank you.
Arman Kaymakjian, 317 6th Avenue. I am the one who lives next to dumpster. Now there is a new mayor, deputy mayor, new councils. I want to know when that dumpster is going to be placed where it's supposed to be. Can anybody answer? Mr. Nuccio?
I spoke with the Director of Code Enforcement, just 2 days ago about that. My understanding that it's going before the zoning board, so that way, the design of the new structure that's going to be on the Park Avenue side of the building, can be approved by the zoning board. I will check to see if in fact, it has been scheduled.
But this goes on over a year. I keep hearing
going
they're
longer than a year.
designing, they're going to architect, they're a lawyer. When? Can anybody Can anybody tell me that when is gonna be? When? I mean, it's shame. I come here all the time. I mean, I feel shame to come and bother you people. You have other things to do.
It's my understanding that a design has been submitted, all right, and they're just waiting to get it before the zoning board. I will check to see if there is a date. All right, I will talk to Rob McEwen tomorrow about it.
Can you call us and let us know when, Mr.
I thought
Nuccio?
the court date was scheduled for January because I
That was the
followed
court
up.
date. That was the
Okay.
court date, but it has to go back before the zoning board now. Because of the design of it and the fact that we're moving it, all right, the building we're talking about here, all right, it's a corner lot, so it has two fronts.
Right.
So it has to go back before the zoning board to move it, all right, to, all right, the side of the building of Park Avenue side. So it's got to go back before the zoning board.
When they put the dumpster there, they didn't go to zoning board, they didn't get permit, they did illegal.
All right?
Mr. Nuccio, I want you to work on it, because now you're in charge. They don't know what's going on, and you know what's going on.
I know what's going on with it.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to talk to Mr. McEwen again and get about it tomorrow. All right, and I'll talk to Barbara Van Wagner about it.
And then can you give us a definite date, please?
I'll find out what the date is and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
new
you.
mayors
Thank
and council, everybody else.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Do me a favor and the rest of the council, please email us also with the status. And if not, put that on the top of your priority for the next meeting, because saying it has to go back to the zoning board, if they meet once a month, I mean, we could be here till March if they delay it and everything. And this is getting ridiculous, because he's absolutely right. You're saying it has to go to zoning, but the original one never went to zoning, and they were in violation of the law there. So let them, they can violate the law, and we won't give them a summons. How's that? They can put it there, and then we'll design it, and we won't give them a summons. But let's move that quick, please.
Absolutely.
Hello, Council. Jerry Scarano, Long Branch. Nice to see you all up there, and Happy New Year, and good luck with your terms.
Thank you.
Okay, I have to share a story with you. I had to get a C of O for my back house in Long Branch, and I wanted to share an idea with you, and I'd like you to think about it. But before you can get a C of O in Long Branch, you have to go to the sewer department to prove that you're paid up to your bills, and you have to go to the tax office to prove that your taxes are up to date. The reason I bring this up is MD Sash, when they did the Steinbach building, they owed all these back taxes. They should have never got C of Os for the department. So I'd like you to think about that, because that slipped under the radar, them not paying the taxes all those years. But it would have been caught the first time they tried to get a C of O when they didn't have the tax bill paid. I'd just like to find out if you guys could look into that, because that should never happen again. The other thing is, I was glad to see in the paper that the Historical Society is looking into the panels. That was another thing that fell off the radar with the last council. iStar, whoever you want to say, Madison Marquette, those panels disappeared. That should have been a priority to get them back before they were granted any other good deals that they wanted. Because those panels, I don't know what they're worth, but the building looked pretty sad without them. And the reason we gave them those buildings at the prices that we did, they were supposed to make them better, not strip them for what they were worth. We lost the old, I guess the skating ring, the casino building got leveled because it was too tough to repair. Now we have a cement platform, and maybe years before it comes back. That shouldn't have happened. So listen, you guys have a lot to worry about, but we can fix that problem. I think if you work in partnership with the Historical Society, not that you want to give them a lot of control, but let them help you guys saving the buildings. The other thing is I wanted to bring back is just remember, the developers are friendly. They're here to make money. They're not our friends, none of them, no matter how much they try to be nice to you or us. And the other thing, I'm running out of time, is maybe you guys could work with the Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber of Commerce for Monmouth County and try to get Asbury Park like the economic engine that it should be for a beach resort, like have ads in the papers or on the news radios about coming to Asbury Park this summer. Start planning ahead. Instead of doing it in May, plant the seed in March. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Jerry, I'm putting a couple of points together for the Director of Code. I will add that point in my email to him and ask about it.
As far as the Historical Society, I agree with you, and I agree with you. I'm glad they're taking the bull by the horns and addressing the missing copper panels. If they need a letter in support of the council, obviously I'll sign it. And tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the library is the reorganization of the Historical Society, if anybody wants to attend. And it should be a good meeting, so please, if you want to support the panels and the Historical Society, tomorrow 7 o'clock at the library. Thank you.
Hello, Mayor, Council, staff, Warner Baumgartner, Fifth Avenue. I came here originally to talk about lampposts, but in hearing about the dumpster yet again, I feel compelled to comment on that first. What I think I'm hearing is that the dumpster is to be moved from one side to the other side, still in a public space, or in public view at least. I'm very concerned about this. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the designing of a dumpster enclosure or the rules and regulations, but it's very clear that our code says you can't store garbage in front yards. And it also says that a corner lot, effectively by law, has 2 front yards. So by just moving the offending dumpster from one street front to the other street front still violates the ordinance, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to keep on top of that and go to the zoning board meeting if there is one. So back to the lampposts. I come before you as a member of the Asbury Park Library Board of Trustees. Several years ago, a vehicle went out of control, ran up the front property of the library, knocked over a lamppost, and careened into a handrail. That was a few years ago. The lamppost was destroyed. The handrail was repaired at the expense of the library. We are now concerned about what happened with processing any possible damage claim against the driver or the vehicle owner regarding this accident. We would like to see some closure on this. There's no clear paper trail as to whatever happened to this accident report and the city filing an accident claim against any legally responsible parties. The city owns the library. The physical building, the lamps, the stairs, the railings are the property of the city of Asbury Park. The board, the library board, is administered with, taking care of managing the property. So we're very concerned about the process here. Several questions have been raised over the years about what happened to the damage claim. So could we get an answer to that, please?
Is that it?
Yes.
Yes, you can. When, I'm not going to say by next meeting because it's something that's been being asked for years by myself, you, other people, but yes, we'll jump on top of it. Chances are, I'm guessing, there is no damage claim. I'm guessing, like, let's just get it over with and buy another one and put it up. There's a company, I believe, in Alabama that can make one. We can't find a duplicate. There are none. They're one of a kind. But it can be, another one can made to look like it.
The concern I'm raising is the process. If the process failed once, it may fail again. We would like to get an understanding of what the process was and fix it.
How many years ago?
Right, those people are probably no longer with the city. All I can do is say the process will not fail again.
Thank you.
How many years ago was this?
5 to 6. 6 years ago.
And Tony, can I get clarification on, it's not that the dumpster's being moved, it's that they're building an enclosure? No, the
They're
dumpster's
building an
being.
enclosure, all right,
It is
for
being moved.
trash cans, all right, that would go over to the side of the building.
But they have a back of the building where they could put trash cans, right?
But there is a problem, all right, in the back of it, all right, as far as the footage, all right, encroaching on the property of the Board of Education. I mean, we've gone through all of this,
Okay.
all right, we're hopefully at the final stages of moving this. I'll talk to McCune again tomorrow.
When it was the Drake Hotel, the trash
The
cans
Drake,
were back
they
in
were in
that
the back.
alleyway for 50 years. And there was no problem picking them up, and no problem emptying them. So it is ridiculous. So let's solve it. Thank you. Rita?
Hi, Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. I wasn't going to talk about the panels, but I understand those panels weighed about 300 pounds apiece. So it had to be an organized type of, what would you call it? An organized thing that where people came and took hours to take those panels down because they weren't easy to take down. So, I mean, somebody had to see something. I mean, if you're taking hours to take panels down and putting them on a truck, somebody had to see it. I mean, I think you really should really research that because those panels are worth a lot of money. They're all copper, and they belong to the city of Asbury Park. So, what I really wanted to talk about was, I was disturbed when I heard that you took a vote about the pipeline that's going to be 20 miles out in the ocean.
We talked about, we're going to take a vote tonight.
You're going to take a vote. Okay. Well, you know, you should think about that again. I mean, that pipeline is not going to bother anybody over here. If anything's going to bother somebody in Asbury, it's going to be the sewer plant. It's not going to be the pipeline that's going to be out 20 miles from here. I think you should really think about that because that brings jobs to the town. We have the highest unemployment rate ever, 17%, might be even more now. This woman was talking about jobs. That would create a lot of jobs, whether you know it or not. And go to Wikipedia and see how many of those lines are out. Cross-country, around the world, over 1,000. I think they're going to put one on Sandy Hook, or there is one there already. I'm not sure. But you really think about things like that. You know why North Dakota has no unemployment? Because they do fracking there. The people that work in Walmart in North Dakota are making $20 an hour. You have to think differently. You got to think outside the box. Nothing's going to happen with liquid gas out 20 miles into the ocean. I know there's a lot of green Gestapos around, but I'm not one of them. I want to see this happen.
So, I'll address that comment, Rita, because I'll take responsibility for bringing it to the council. And so, just a couple of points. I went to the public hearing last Thursday, and a lot of these issues were raised. And in the the environmental impact statement, they talk about jobs, short-term jobs, and they talk about long-term jobs. The short-term jobs would be for the divers that work out of New York Harbor laying down the pipe. But the long-term jobs are 5 long-term jobs. And the staging areas would be in Albany and somewhere else upstate New York. So the job impact on Asbury Park, from what I can tell, is 0. The second, so the concern is not actually about the importing, it's designed as an import station, right? So we would bring liquefied natural gas from other countries and import it into the United States.
Huh?
The concern about that is we don't actually right now import any natural gas, 0, not one anything, right? So what's happened in other locations is that's how they've gotten the permits in, saying they're going to import, they get approval, and then they flip it, right? They turn it into an export station where they take our natural gas, that's our resource, that can fuel our country, and we send it overseas. And that's what people are afraid of, as well as the industrialization of our ocean. And as you know, the economy here is based upon our ocean and our coastal economy. And that's what we're protecting, because those big super tankers would be out there, terrorist problems, there would be possibility of leaking or spills, there's all those other concerns. So that's why the council's considering it. And I appreciate your comments, but that's just kind of where I'm coming from with it.
Well, you better think about
And
that.
the governor vetoed it. Senator Beck also spoke against it, Senator Casagran, Representative Casagran. So there was a lot of broad-based support from all the parties.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just want to say, on behalf of the West Side Community Center, congratulations for your election win, and we're looking forward to working with you this year. Just to let you know that the West Side Community Center board members, all, including myself, we're all volunteer members serving the community. Just to let you know about some of our programming, last year in 2014, we had approximately 4,000 people come into our West Side Community Center for special events and programming, to include direct service programming. We ran an evening rec program, we ran an after-school literacy program, we ran a young adult program specifically targeted to 18 to 25-year-olds, as well as a summer arts Culture and Leadership Program, and we also partner with other agencies to take, I think it was 25 young people to Washington DC for the weekend. We are committed to serving the community. We're committed to partnering, and we look forward to the new council and a new year and new years to come to work together to unify this community to help the residents of Asbury Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to close public?
Move it.
I would just say, Lori, we are looking forward to reaching out with the Westside Community Center and starting a dialogue there in the next couple weeks.
In fact, may I?
All in
Yes,
favor?
Tony.
Did you get my email?
Yeah, actually, Mr. Nuccio, I did, and I responded to you, and you probably got it late. You were already probably here, so absolutely, I responded to you. We're excited about working together to help the community and address the needs, whether it's job training, whether it's reentry program, which is actually my passion, because I know all too often, young men and women, when they come out of, institutions, incarceration, there are no supportive services. Also, I'm sorry, Mayor and Council, but if anybody needs to connect with us, they can certainly call us on our number, 732-775-5549. We're absolutely willing and open to partnering with everybody. My cell phone number is 732-688-1701. Believe me, you can call us at 10 o'clock at night for whatever the issue, and we try to accommodate everybody. But we're looking, we're really all excited, and we're really encouraged that, you council members are in, and you've already reached out to us to work together, because it's not two Asbury Park, it's one, and we want to be part of the group of folks that unify. So, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we'll talk either later or tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are on to item E, correspondence received by the city clerk. The proclamation has been removed. Correspondence received by the city clerk, there are none. Item F, approval of minutes, they're unavailable at the time. We're on to item G, consent agenda resolution. All matters listed on the consent agenda are to be considered with one vote by the city council and will be enacted with one motion, 1 second, 1 vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature. There will be no individual discussion of these items. If a discussion is desired by one or more council members, then that item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. The consent agenda consists of 2015-26, authorizing compensation payment to Roberta Deedle. 2015-27, authorizing compensation payment to Howard Pogorski. 2015-28, authorizing compensation payment to Brian Weary. 2015-29, a resolution awarding a contract to computer maintenance and repairs. 2015-30, a resolution awarding contract for printing services. 2015-31, a resolution awarding a contract for vehicle transmission repair. 2015-32, a resolution awarding a contract for fire department uniforms. 2015-33, a resolution approving a raffle license. 2015-34, a resolution approving a social affairs permit. 2015-35, a resolution authorizing the tax assessor to act as an agent for the city of Asbury Park for the purpose of filing and settling tax appeals on behalf of the taxing district for the tax year 2015. 2015-42, a resolution approving special event applications as discussed on January 12, 2015. Does,
Need a motion?
Move it.
all in favor? I'm sorry, I need to take a roll
Second.
call. Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
To item H, we have a resolution authorizing the payment of payroll in the amount of $878,263.69.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the payment of bills in the amount of $1,390,838.46.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes on all, except I have to abstain on purchase order number 15-00017.
So moved. A resolution referring proposed amendments to the city's land development regulations, section 30-73 arcades, to the planning board for review and comment pursuant to the New Jersey Municipal Land Use Law.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution, a statement in opposition of the LNG facilities in the New York, New Jersey Bight.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution for an interlocal agreement between the City of Asbury Park Fire Department and Freehold Fire District Number 1.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
A resolution to accept a surplus fire apparatus from the Matasquan Volunteer Engine Company Number 2.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
A resolution of the City of Asbury Park referring proposed amendments to the Central Business District redevelopment plan to the City of Asbury Park Planning Board and directing the Planning Board to take certain actions pursuant to NJSA 40A:12A.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes. Anything else?
We have a resolution authorizing acting city manager to seek competitive quotes for a headhunting agency to assist the city with its search for a new city manager.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We have a resolution authorizing appointments to various boards, committees, and/or commissions.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Is there time for just a question?
Technically, that should have been before they called.
Before we call it, okay, yes.
Keep that in mind for the future.
Absolutely.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the city to accept $4,500 to release affordable housing loan on a property located at 1012 Bangs Avenue.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Councilmember Warner.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
You can't do both.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.